A very good morning to you. How are you doing? How is the start of the week for you? Karibu sana to your World Monday edition. And you know, every single Monday, all we do is talk about mindful things that make us think about where we are in life, retrospective conversations with self, you know, those little quiet moments of learning how we can make ourselves better. My name is Mkali Mary Karibuni Sana, and today we tackle something that affects all of us in different kinds of ways. We're talking money, we're talking finances, we're talking about the emotions around money and how heavy or not so heavy they are, and the kind of energy that money carries. When we talk about budgeting, what are we talking about? Do we understand it? Do we know what it means? Are you doing it the right way? Yani, these are the conversations that we're having today. And before I introduce my panelists today, I have a question for you. What expense are you not willing to cut from your budget no matter what? And be honest. Question is, what expense are you not willing to cut from your budget no matter what? And be honest with that answer as well. I'm really interested to know what that thing is for you. NTV Kenya on all our social media platforms. You can hit us up on our WhatsApp number, and our phone lines are open, so you be free to call in and ask whatever questions that you have on matters, finances, budgeting, and all of that. And at this particular time, I'd like to introduce my panelist, starting from my immediate left. She's not a new person on the show. She's been here before. Lovely to have you again, Ruguru.
Thank you so much.
And you look absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
Gorgeous. She's a financial coach. And next to Ruguru Sijeni, we have George Kimani, who's a financial expert and a counseling psychologist as well. Karibu sana to the show.
Thank you so much.
And behind them, I have an amazing audience. Karibuni. Lovely to have you. And it excites me to see the young people who join us when you're talking matters money, because if you get it right at that age, then you're set for life. And that's why we're having this conversation, so that we can adjust, learn, and, you know, make better strides moving forward. For my panelists, I have a question. And I think for the last couple of weeks, I think it's a question that's been asked in many different forms. We've had such conversations here, but I just want to understand why money is such an emotive subject. Why does money carry such huge, heavy emotion as a resource? Because there are other resources. Well, land, pain, na emotions, but at the root, at the bottom of it all, money is it. Why is it such an emotive subject?
I think I would say, you know, the Bible says,
yes,
money answereth all things. There are very many problems that money can answer.
Yes.
I think that's why it's such an emotive subject. Because then, I mean, almost anything. I think the one thing it says, it can't give you life and it can't give you health, maybe. But the truth is, you know, there's somebody who says money is a defense. You know the way we say, nataka nikipita nikanyage nyanya ya mtu naweza lipia.
Because the opposite is, if I don't have it, naogopa kutoka.
Exactly.
Nikikanyaga nyanya ndalipa na nini?
There you go. So that would be my answer. Money answereth all things. So that when you have it, there are very few things that you can't, you know, do. That doesn't mean that it's everything, but it really can answer a lot of things. So a lot of asmanga nataka kulia, afadhali kulia ndani ya
Range Rover
than kucheka kwa baiskeli.
Kuna point hapo.
Kuna point.
George, how would you answer that question? Why is it such an emotional subject?
Thank you very much. And before I respond to that, allow me to say hi to my wife and my family, my children.
Bonga
Ngoja kidogo. Kamera yake ni gani? It needs to go live and direct. Camera 2. Straight into that camera, George.
Yes,
Let's go.
I want to say hi to my dear wife, Margaret, and my children. I know they are watching. They are my fans #1.
Okay.
Now, talking about money, I have already said that I'm a financial expert and a counseling psychologist.
Yes.
And at times people wonder, how does finances and psychology relate? But I want to say that there is a very big and a very strong connection. because money has emotions.
Yeah.
And as my colleague has explained here, when you have money, it creates an emotion of security. It creates an emotion of being in control of everything. And when you do not have money, it creates an emotion of fear. It creates an emotion of uncertainty. You start just getting worried. For those of us who have families, when you do not have money, mtoto akikohoa tu kidogo unasikia is like there is some fear because you do not know what next to do. So money and emotions, they go hand in hand. And someone in Kiswahili said, pesa ni sabuni ya roho. When someone has money, they may not necessarily even have changed their diet, but you'll be able to see gradually a change even in their
glowing.
They're growing. And the opposite is also true. Because money and our emotions are highly connected.
Absolutely. And we talk about money, then budgeting is also, you know, comes hand in hand. And just as we cover, because I need to understand some of the misconceptions that are there about budgeting. There are people who say, maybe I will save what remains. The others who save before. The others who save when they get a certain amount of money is when they will be able to save. Like my 20K, I can't save. But if I get like 200,000 every week, then you see I can save at least 5K. You know what I mean? So what is the biggest misconception when it comes to budgeting, even before we get to understand what and how we should go about it?
I think you've said it, that I need to wait for enough in order to budget. I need to wait for a certain amount of money in order to budget. The truth is that when you're earning 5K, it's enough. Then you want to earn 10, and when you earn 10, it will also be enough. So that for many of us, when whatever money, whatever extra comes, so does the expenses.
That's true.
So whatever extra comes, so does the expenses. So the biggest misconception is that I will be able to budget when I have a lot of it. There are people, again, by scaling a Range Rover. Same story. Range Rover itakunywa mafuta, so will have it. Both of them are on a budget. So the question is, if you can't budget when you're on a bicycle, it becomes very difficult to budget because it's a habit that you have to form. So the biggest misconception I would say is that you're waiting for a lot.
You're on the wrong path.
You're on the wrong path.
And George, what other misconception is there?
Okay, I've been a trainer of finances at a company known as Chacham Consultants. And one of the things that many people have questioned anytime I have talked about budgeting, they ask me, Mwalimu, do you want to tell me that when I budget, my money will increase? Now, the answer is absolutely no. If you started with 20 and you budget, it will not be anything more than 20. But the real advantage of budgeting is to be able to control, to be able to understand your money. Now, we say the moment you understand your money, you are in a position to control it. So budgeting helps you to understand your money. The moment you understand your money, you can be able to control. And what do we mean by control? Controlling means you are able to influence the direction. You are able to influence even the size. But as we talk here and now, there are very, very many people who do not know their money. The only things they know is the fixed components. Like if you pay rent, which is fixed. You ask them how much did you pay for rent 10 months ago, they can tell you. But for the variables, like maybe something like airtime, even here in this room, we can do a random check and you find that I'm right. If you were to ask these people, how much have you spent on airtime for the last 10 days? They can't know. Not unless you belong to the category, not unless you belong to the category that puts 1,000 shillings at a go. But if you belong to the club of Okoa Jahazi, 50, 20, you have no idea. And you realize that is a big component of our money. So most of us, we do not know our money. And as a result, we always get surprised by our money. And that's why now many people are in problems
when it comes to money. The way you would probably elaborate what budgeting looks like, then people would look at it and be like, it feels more restrictive than empowering, you know, even hearing that it is not going to multiply, your money is not moving, it feels ninajinyima tu badala nisikie ni kama inani empower. So how then do we change the mindset of how we look at budgeting instead of, you know, feeling like it's just being a restrictive kind of measure that I have to get into?
Okay, when you have said that, I've just remembered another misconception.
Okay.
That people tell me, when you budget, you become mean. A person who is good in budgeting is a mean person, is a stingy person. But that is not the truth. I would like to bring it to our audience that budgeting does not in any way make you stingy, but it makes you a smart controller of your finances. Okay. You do not just go spending your money on every Tom, Dick, and Harry, on every avenue that you find. Even planting, you don't plant on any soil. You must identify which is fertile soil and which is not fertile. So budgeting helps you to know, where do I put my money? Where do I not put my money? So budgeting does not restrict you, but it guides you. And we say in life, direction is more important than speed. So if you have no direction, then you are going nowhere. They said if you are going anywhere, then you are going nowhere. So a budget gives you a guide of where you are going. So if you want to look at it as restrictive, I would wish you change that word and call it directive. It gives you a direction.
I like that. I like that. And when we go back to how we were brought up, Rogoro, then I think most of our problems begin there. Because our relationship with money then is something that probably did not appear from nowhere. It was things like money does not grow on trees. Do not go picking money. Watu wako na pesa mingi, wanatumia kamote, wako na mayini. Mayini, wamenda Mombasa, wamechukua mayini. You know, there's a lot of what we know and believe now from where we come from.
There's something called a money thermostat.
Okay.
Yeah. So that there's a place where you're comfortable. Kama niko na 2,000 niko sawa. When I have 20,000 shillings in my account, I'm okay. When it gets to 30, I start feeling like I need to.
We can't be in the same house.
How can I be in the same house?
How can that behave normal?
So now, what then happens is that you need to reduce it to comfort level.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and many times, if it's 10, same story. For I am broke. Oh my God, I'm broke. I need to get back to 20. So the higher your money thermostat, the better off you are. The lower your money thermostat, the worse off you are. Because then what that means is that it doesn't matter how much money you receive. You will bring it back. You know, a thermostat is, in temperature, a thermostat is comfortable. So if my comfortable is 20, then I will bring it back to 20. If it's lower, I'll bring it up to. That can be a problem. And normally that thermostat has been set from somewhere. Like you said. Kama ilikuwa kwetu, pesa, hakuna pesa. Me, I remember the answer was always, hakuna pesa. It didn't matter how much money was in the house. Hakuna pesa. There are other people who, whatever you asked for, was present. So people like those, their money thermostat is normally very high. Because then they will work very hard to make sure that whatever I need, I can get. So if you're not careful then, so the one thing you want to do is to raise your money thermostat to a place where it's a little higher than where you are, so that you're comfortable with a little more money. Otherwise, I can assure you, utanunua ile kiatu yote utapatana nayo. Every dress you see on the internet, you're going to buy. You're going to eat whatever it is that you've always thought is good food until your money thermostat. Then you go back to sasa sina pesa. Sasa naeza endelea.
Wow. That is devastating.
It is.
I think it is very devastating. And I think subconsciously, because it comes from a place where you do not know. But now when you're aware of it, how then do you change your mindset from that?
So the first thing, and I think Kimani has said it, is you need to know where your money is going. Before even, if you have never put up a budget. First of all, just go. Look, most of us, our M-Pesa will tell you.
Oh, yes.
Our M-Pesa will tell you exactly where your money has been going. Nobody is asking where your money has gone, whether you've used... Most people buy airtime through M-Pesa. Just go. Look, you'll see where it is. Actually, go through your M-Pesa for the last month or two and write down, nilikula chipo mwitu for that bob. Then the next day, nikakula 50. then nikakula smocha, then you will see street food is actually taking 10% of my money. Airtime is taking 20% of my money. Start looking and saying, okay, does this mean, what then do I need to do? Once you understand where it's going, because it's going somewhere, whether you budget or not.
It is.
There's something called a zero-sum budget, which means tell your money, 100% of your money where to go. So that's what a zero-sum budget is. So that ata kauta andika hapo 500 ya smocha, street food 500, at least now you know. So that ukitumia 500 unajua street food for the rest of the month, hiyo imeisha. Hiyo sasa wacha tukule nyumbani. Kama ni airtime, then you know I have this much for airtime. Sasa imeisha. Kutoka hapo sasa only important calls. Because then when you start doing that, you start understanding where exactly am I spending my money. The most interesting thing will be to discover that most of your money goes to places that have no real value in your life.
That's true. Absolutely.
No real value. There's a shoe you bought that you have never worn. That there's a dress that looks so nice on the mannequin and now it does not. So now, and then
and there's a dress that you hope utakonda.
Please leave us.
I will wear, I promise you, by end of what month are we in?
This is
August.
August.
Yes, by end of August ndatoshea kwa hiyo lies. You know, I was doing a quick math in my head this morning and I realized the amount of money I pay on the ETC and parking every day in town and fueling for the whole month. I'm in shock.
You're in shock.
I shouldn't be living where I'm living. I could easily move to the leafy suburbs. But then because you do kidogo and you're not accounting for it, as si nikiteremka it's 330 bob. Nikirudi si ndaingililia pale mbele kidogo ndalipa 280. Then when you do that math, it's quite shocking.
But let me bring it to you that sometimes it also depends on what it is that you're that, you know, sometimes sitting in traffic would be a bit more expensive than, say, for example, sometimes driving your car in town might look very expensive, but the cab is more expensive. You know, or so it just depends on what it is that you're giving up on the
It was just a huge number. I was very uncomfortable this morning.
The fuel is very surprising.
It's very, very uncomfortable this morning, and I just want to open up the floor to the audience today and just find out wangapi wako na budget. Ama wanajua how much money they spend, probably in a month or a week maybe. Unajua, yes, tumpatie microphone, you can start with your name. I think it's on. Tuzime, tukiwasha tena.
Okay.
Yes.
My name is Godfrey.
Yes.
And my budget per month is 20,000.
20,000.
Yeah.
Is that where you're comfortable, or is that where like all you spend?
All I spend.
What does that include?
Food, rent, and some miscellaneous.
Okay. And do we save? And how much are we able to put aside probably? I don't know. Maybe you do it weekly or?
Saving is usually weekly.
Weekly?
That is roughly 500 or
500.
Somewhere 500.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every week.
Yeah.
And how long have you been on this particular journey?
I'm counting now 6 months.
6 months?
Yeah.
And how is it? Is it feeling restrictive or empowering?
Sometimes you just have to strain yourself to reach that point.
To reach that point. So the dedication comes first. So you saved before?
Yeah, I save before and then I start counting cost on some things I feel like I can do away without.
Absolutely. That's really nice. Thank you so much for that. Yes, Mercy?
My name is Mercy, and because we are talking about finances, the topic, maybe Mr. George can address something. Maybe we can talk about the money we lost when some people, or maybe people who borrowed us and they have never returned, you know. And again, how to help someone on budgeting, because you find I myself, I do buy shopping and I tell myself that I'm going to strictly depend on this shopping, but sometimes you see maybe I'm tired and then I buy food. And this is money that I'm getting from savings. Now I'm buying food. Yes.
Okay. So mindful saving. George, maybe you would like to react to that before we go on a break?
Thank you. Mercy has raised 3 issues. Number 1 is you have already budgeted and you feel hungry and you buy.
Shopping, Elisha. Am I
Number
shopping?
1.
Am I you're lazy? Okay. Great.
Okay, but before we come into that, we normally advise people once they do budget, you don't go to shop or you don't go shopping when you're hungry. When you're hungry and you go to the supermarket, there is a very high probability you will engage in impulse buying. Ukipitia ukiona juice, because of the jar that you have it, you feel like you can take a packet, you go somewhere else, you pick things that are necessary. So don't go to supermarket when you're hungry. Number 2, she has asked about the money you have lost for courtesy of people that you gave the money and they have never returned. I think that's a normal occurrence in life, and this is where we put a lot of caution, where you are told before you get to give your money to someone, ask yourself, do you want to retain the friendship or to retain your money? Because the probability of losing your money is very high.
Yes.
So be very careful before you give out your money. The other thing she has asked is about budgeting. You have budgeted and you find that you are exceeding. I want to say that is also a reality. And is one of the major hindrances that people use and they fail to budget, because they say, last month I had budgeted to spend 5,000, but look, I've spent already 13,000. So what is the need of budgeting? But we normally encourage people that even Rome was never built in one day. You run gradually. So today you make it and you report a big variance. But next budgeting period or next month, you do it again, you will improve. Buy and buy. With time, you will improve. And before I lose out on that, I normally encourage people that if you want to control your finances, develop a habit of what we call recording your finances. Every single day. Every single day. Like now myself, this is something I do. I have done it almost for the last 15, 17 years.
Wow.
If you come to my house, I'll show you those books.
Yes.
It has become almost a ritual. Even my family, they know. Nikiingia kwa nyumba jioni, I have to record. Nimelipa fare this much, nimekula chipo, nimefanya hii na hii. So I have a record of how my money has been spent every single day. Then at the end of the month, I'm able to accumulate and know how much went to airtime, how much went to donations, like maybe my friend had a pre-wedding or there was a funeral, how much did I give on that? So I have an idea of how much did I spend every month. Then I compare with the budget that I had done, and I'm able to notice the difference. Now, the advantage of writing down, there is a concept in finance, we say, if you ink it, you think it. And if you think it, you are able to control it. If you ink, to ink is to write. You are able to think. There is an osmosis process that happens. When you are writing, it comes to your mind. You start thinking. When you start thinking about something, you get to know it. And when you know it, you are able to control. For example, let me just nishikilia hapo kidogo. We need to pay our bills very, very fast, and we'll come back to that particular point. But I love that because there is power in journaling, because I was going to ask about that. Are there some practices that we can do to just help us be mindful? And you preempted that question with a very elaborate answer. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be looking at your feedback as well and answering more questions from the audience. The question we are asking you today is pretty simple. What expense are you not willing to cut from your budget no matter what? Be honest. What expense are you not willing to cut from your budget no matter what? Be honest. NTV Kenya on all our social media platforms. We'll be checking on that once we come back after the break. Welcome back to Your World Monday edition. It's Mindful Monday, and today we're talking money, the emotions around it, and the importance of budgeting. And just before the break, we had a very interesting conversation around, being mindful, or mindful practices that we can do to help us know how we are spending, how to budget more. And George, sorry I cut you short, we had to pay our bills, but you were explaining the importance of inking it, because then it goes to your mind and then you think it. And when you think it, you're able to control it. Yes.
And then when you control it, Ama zilikuwa ni kama ni 3. Nimeshika zote. They were 4.
In kit, you are able to think it. You are able to know it. And then you are able to
control it.
Yes. Now, when you control, it means you are able to guide the movement of your money for your advantage. Yes. That's the advantage. I was at the point of saying, if, for example, you know that I am after you, and you do not want to meet me, when you see me walk along this street, you just use the other street because you know, and therefore you are able to avoid me. But if you did not know that I am after you, then you'll find that and where I am. And most of us are like that. We do not know our money. But if you can develop that habit of inking, you'll be able to think about it, you'll be able to know, and you'll be able to control. And you'll not be caught off with surprises about your money. And one of the most dangerous surprises is when you have a shortage. You realize, oh, it's mad morning, I need 20,000, I don't have it. Unachukua simu unapigia mtu, hey, Fran, unaweza niokolea 20,000. And some people are smart. They tell you, unataka 20,000. I wish you had called me 20 minutes earlier. Hata kuna mtu nimepea 30,000 and they don't or if they don't put you in that put you off in that direction, they tell you, how urgent do you need it? Now, wewe unafikiria, if you post or if you paint an urgent picture, they will give you immediately. You tell them, in the next 1 hour, I seriously need the 20,000. They tell you, if you could wait until 4 p.m., I'll be able to give. Now, you find it very difficult to change the urgency from the next 1 hour to 4 p.m. It reflects dishonesty. And then you are already left out. And that is now the point at which you resort to Shyrox. Now, when you resort to Shyrox, those who have some experiences of Shyrox, they know what happens. If you're not careful with Shyrox, you can easily lose your money. It needs someone who is disciplined and very sure of the expected incomes.
That's so true. And I love that you bring that aspect, because when you talk about budgeting, some of the things that we need to budget in there is the debts that we have. And we rarely do that. Umechukuanga mshwari lakini ukifanya budget yako ujaweka hapa. Iko ni pesa yako imaginary. Fuliza iko hapo. Okoa something iko hapo. How do we tackle debt when it comes to budgeting, and how important is it? Where do we place it?
So you need to, there's something called using the snowball effect of paying debt.
Okay.
Yeah? So write all your debts. Zote. Hata kama ni kwa jahazi. Zote.
Andika.
Write them down. And then categorize it from the smallest to the biggest. Okay?
Yes.
Then, as you're budgeting, you should use a percentage of, because then always tumia pesa yote kulipa deni. Yeah?
Utaanza kukopa tena.
Yes. So, what I use is 20% of the money is going to go to paying debt.
Yes.
Whatever money I get, 20% will go to paying debt. Then, if you need to call the people that you owe, kama ni huyo rafiki uliomba sijui niokolee 20,000 akupatia, mpigie umwambie sasa nitakulipa, lakini nitakulipa pole pole. Is that okay with you? Then when now you've talked to all the people you owe, answer na the smallest. Yeah? Okwa jahazi ilikuwa 20 bob, lipa hiyo umalizane nayo. Lipa the smallest. And as you finish the smallest, hii pesa ya smallest sasa usianze kukula.
Yes.
Yeah? Uiweke into the next debt. Always use 20% to pay off the debt. Uende hivyo pole pole. Na saa zile unafanya hivyo usikope. Usiende ukiongeza zingine huku chini. The point is to try and finish. Kwa sababu sometimes then it just becomes, and what happens then, inaanza kidogo kidogo and then it becomes bigger and bigger. Eventually utaweza kulipa ile kubwa kabisa. When you're done,
kune masikio
hivi. Useme sitawahi tena.
Yes.
Especially because unaona kama vitu kama Fuliza, vitu kama honestly ulilipia nini exactly? Ukiangalia ilikuwa sijui, wacha tu umeenda restaurant na mtu ukaona chakula ni tamu sana, wacha ni badala ya kukunywa drink peke yake, wacha ukaitisha ukafuliza. It was not even that serious. So after you've paid, remove yourself from all those things. Jitoe, unaweza opt out from all those things. Useme kama sina.
Kweli. Hey, umeisema na passion. Kuna watu walikuwa na maswali, najua leo show inaenda kukua fupi sana. Tuanze na Catherine.
Yeah, this is Kananu Catherine, mrembo mcheshi. Now, I was looking at it where we get to the money that we have, we we be able to get everything that we need within that amount that we have. Take for example, okay, there's somebody who has 5,000, and there are some things that this person needs to buy. It's even less than 5,000. But at the end of the day, the person has spent the money unnecessarily on some other things. You will not even be able to cater for what you needed. But there is this other person who has 200 shillings. That 200 shillings will cater from breakfast, lunch, supper. It's 200. Like there is a way this person is able to use that money, and it's going to cater for everything instead of now unnecessarily spending it on some things that are not even, you cannot even think of them. So how can we be able to do that? Okay, it's very hard. I know it's very hard. It's not easy. Having that 3,000 shillings, I have a lot of things, and I want all of them to be there without adding.
Unataka kuongezea?
Yeah, so my name is Miriam, and my question is, how can I overcome the fear of looking at my financial situation?
Aha. Okay, good. Then we can, you can take that. I think those two. Then we have a few more.
Hi guys.
Hi.
So this is Alvin Gumba. I'm fortunate to have like a financial mentor, and I was once told that if okay, nitaisema nikikumbuka, but nimekumbuka. So I was fortunate to be told that that my mentor once told me that if you don't teach your children heritage, they will end up selling the inheritance. And this brings me to a certain question I would like to ask Ruguru and Kimani. So my question is, do you think that social media has made an impact to the young people when it comes to handling money? Because here is where you find people have that lifestyle pressure of keeping up with what we are seeing on the social media. And also there is something called impulsive pressure, whereby we have these influencers. They teach us like they sell something, but for them they're not like using what they are selling.
They're influencing for products for you to buy, but they're not necessarily using. Okay.
And also there is that comparison pressure.
Okay. Okay. One final question. I think we have less than 10 minutes to be out of the studio.
Yes, my final question. I'm Frederick Serebwa. I want Mr. Kimani and Madam to talk about the disciplinary of microfinance companies or organization with the company employees about the financial support, because you find young people are going to borrow money from this microfinance company, and the companies are the one who are signing the MOUs between the microfinance companies. So how discipline measure can be used with the company employees? Because you find when I go to cooperative bank, I will be asked if the MOU of your company, if the company I'm working has the MOU with that eligibility MOU. And you find when I come out from that company, I've taken a loan like 30,000. I go to the other company. Then the other company also have the MOU. So the microfinance company gives you a loan. So you have a double loan. How discipline can we use between the company and the MOU microfinance? Kimana about that.
So I think those are all the questions that we've gotten. So we can. First. Yes, George.
Thank you very much. Just to address a few things. One, someone has asked how you can face the financial fear. They say you can never overcome what you have never faced. So if you want to overcome that financial fear, that fear of budgeting, start budgeting now.
Okay. With
time, you'll be able to water down that emotion. In psychology, there is something that we call flooding. You can be exposed. So even if we are not going to expose you suddenly, buy and buy. Number two, Mteshi, I think, if I'm getting the right name.
Yes, you are.
He asked about the 5,000, the 200. And I would want to say that there is no enough money. All money is enough. And that's why even those people who do not work, they still live.
Yes.
So if you find yourself struggling continuously, then your priorities are wrong. You can struggle 1 or 2 months, but not continuously.
Yeah.
It is about budgeting. And on that note, I want to say that debt is not necessarily bad. And debt arises when your expected expenses are more than the incomes. Now, why do you take a debt? You need to classify your personal expenses into 3 categories.
Okay.
Number 1, we call them vitals. Now, vitals are things that if you do not get them, your life will stop.
Yes.
It's upon you to know what are vitals.
Yeah.
Number 2, because I don't have time.
Yes.
Number 2, we call them desirables.
Yeah.
Desirables are things that, or rather, sorry, number 2, we call them essentials.
Yes.
Essentials are things that if you do not have them, you will have inconveniences here and there, but life will still move on. Then number 3, we call them the desirables, the nice to have. So many people, as my colleague has said here, when you go to a restaurant, they borrow or they incur debts on the desirables. So you need to prioritize your expenses, see what is vital, what is essential, what is desirable. So as you take a debt, you can take a debt maybe on vitals. But for the desirables and the essentials, please don't take a debt.
Okay.
On issues of social media, that's a fact. People want to fit. People want also to be seen that they are also doing well. But I want to tell people that I was once in that trap when I would go to the village using a hired car. And it would feel nice when I'm passing by our local shopping center and waving to people. But after they see that you have driven and they say son of so-and-so is now doing well, they don't contribute anything to the fuel. You come back, you have paid the car owner 2,000 shillings, you have fueled 1,000. But if I had used a matatu, 500 shillings would have been enough. So for me, with all due respect, I just call it financial foolishness to try to comply. But live your own life.
Yes, please.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Rogoro. I think we have about 3 minutes.
No, I think, you know, so let me talk about debt.
Yes.
The Bible says, the Bible says
yes,
that the lender is master to the
borrower.
Yeah. Or the borrower is slave to the lender.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is very presumptuous. You're assuming that you will be able to pay. Yeah. So debt, I'll leave it to, debt is not bad, but me, I say debt. People have been left with debts for their fathers and forefathers because they assumed they will be there tomorrow to pay for it. And so now you're passing it on to your children, something that, I mean, anyway, let me not bring the country into that story because our children's children will be paying for debts we are taking now. It's very presumptuous.
Yes.
So if you can avoid debt, avoid it like a gazelle running for its life.
Yeah.
And many times, like he has said, I love what he has said about vitals, essentials, and desirables. If you have a bit of money and you put it in vitals and essentials, you can live without desirables. So really, then that means that the debt is unnecessary, if so to speak.
Yeah.
To say the social media question, you know the answer even as you're asking. So let us just tell you again. You even said it. They don't use the product themselves.
Yeah.
Just look, say how nice it looks. You know, you look and say, hey, Mwikali's wig is so nice. I would love to have it someday. Write down. In fact, take pictures and say, one day I will be able to wear a wig like Mwikali. I want her hair. And then you sit there and you work towards it. Let me just add this.
Yes.
There's a percentage, again, I said, give 10% back to the Lord. You can tell I'm a Christian. Pay 20% to yourself.
Yes.
Go and put it somewhere where you can't reach it.
Yes.
Use 20% to pay your debts. What are you left with? 50.
Yes.
That's where you put your rent, your food, your 50%.
There.
And within, I love that you've done that for 17 years.
Yeah.
In 17 years, you can be able to tell, oh my goodness. I keep saying, had they told me I should save 20% when I was their age, I'd be a very rich person. So now I've told you.
So this is the time.
This is the time. Save 20% and don't eat it. Don't save it for something.
Yes.
Save it for when you're 70.
Okay. We have 1 minute for final remarks, so you can get the 30 seconds on your final word on the day.
I want to tell people that if you think budgeting is bad, then convince me that the entire government is wrong. Because government takes a lot of time to budget.
That's true.
Very vital.
Yeah.
So as I said, I'm Kimani. I train at Chacham Consultants.
Okay.
Thank you.
Budgeting is difficult, but the alternative is worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you budget, sit down. But the first thing I'll say is, look where your money is going. That's the first step. Once you've done that, budgeting will be easier.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Rugoro. Thank you so much, George. It's been lovely having you here. My amazing audience. Thank you for asking very vital questions. My take home today has been not to look at budgeting as a battle, but a form of self-care. You're taking care of yourself in the future. You know what I mean? You know you've got something put away for things that you will like, things that you itakuja kukuokolea, something. It's not a battle. Just a self-care routine that we need to do. And the other thing is that I will start writing them down. Kwanzia na hiyo yenye nimelipa ETC kukuja hapa. Ninaanza leo. Wewe unaanza lini? Asanteni sana. Thank you for joining us today. I know the show has been short today, but we meet tomorrow, same time, same place for Relationship Tuesday. Adios.